Good morning. I'm so excited about these mornings together. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Melissa Agnes, and this is Morning Lives with Melissa Agnes, a daily space to help you, a leader, stay grounded in your power and in your vision throughout the day. If you're doing work that matters, which you all are, and you want steadiness, you want clarity, which we're going to talk about today, and you want connection as you step into what you're called to do, this is what this space is. This is who this space is for. So every morning, I share one truth for about 10 minutes. That's it, not longer than that. Enough time for me to get one thing out of my mouth, one important thing that I want to share with you, and not ramble. And then we do a short drop-in for another about 10 minutes so that you leave feeling centered, aligned, and in your power. So important. So yesterday we talked about infinite potentiality and fearlessness. And that in order to step into infinite potentiality, we have to move through our fears, not avoid them, not suppress them, not shame them, but move through them. Admit that they're here, acknowledge them, and work to move through them. We'll discuss more tactics on how to do that over time. Today, I want to share truth around decision making. Decision making is something that we have to do all day, every day, right? And as visionary leaders who are leading your mission, who are leading your vision, who are leading and doing important work, decision making when you're leading a mission or you're leading your vision, you're going to be leading through moments of uncertainty because you're leading into something new. And as we discussed yesterday, uncertainty has infinite potentiality. It also has fear that comes with it. So in order to make decisions that you feel so good and grounded and clear about, I feel like oftentimes, especially A-types and cerebral thinkers, which is a lot of us, we've been taught to do things logically, like create a pros and cons list. And oftentimes that can actually stir up more uncertainty or more stress or more doubt in our decision makings. Like, what happens when the pros and cons list are equal, right? And you still need to make a decision. So today's one truth that I want to share is the answer to your decision that you are pondering in any given moment, at any given time, doesn't exist in your logical brain, okay? That's not where to tap in and find the answer. Why? A few reasons, but one in particular is because this is where fear lives. Fear lives in the logical intelligence center. Our bodies as human beings have 3 intelligence centers. Our society has only ever valued the one up here, the brain, and hasn't taught us about the other 2. But that doesn't mean that the other 2 don't exist. That doesn't mean that the other 2 aren't your secret power, your secret weapon, and your secret tool for true clarity in decision making. The other 2 are in your body. And so, therefore, finding the answer to your question should come from your body. And I've been reading all these different things and listening to all these different things, and it's so interesting to me. Where did I put this? I put this in my notes. I have this list going of what different people call this clarity. All right, we're going to call it, so for example, I'm reading this incredible book by Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil. And Napoleon Hill calls it your other self. When you're trying to get answers, when you're searching for the right clear path, when you don't have the answers in front of you, whatever that might be, from deciding your grocery list straight through to making some really important mission-driven, vision-driven decisions. Sound is cutting out for you too. Ugh. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. We're going to keep going. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. I'm going to just make sure. I don't know why. You said I have this list. Okay. Thanks, Britt. Today the video is good. The sound is not great. I don't know. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, maybe both will work. We're keep troubleshooting. Thank you, Britt. Thank you. Please keep me posted so I can like go back and repeat things. Okay, we're back. Okay. Thank you for your patience. I apologize. Can hear you now. Amazing. It's the Yeti. We're not blaming, but okay. So what I was saying, I'll just kind of recap. We've been taught to look at our problems logically. We've been raised in a society that has put so much value, pure value, only value on our brain, on our logic, on how smart we are, on how logical we are, on how we think, right? We haven't been taught that this brain, for those of you listening in, I'm pointing to my head, this brain is actually the least intelligent of our 3 intelligence centers. So when we're decision making, when we are leading and nothing is clear and we have no idea which way to go or which opportunity to take or which path to choose or whatever it is, oftentimes leaders sit there and they try to think their way through the problem or think their way to the solution or to the answer. And that will create more doubt, more fear, more stress, more cortisol running through your veins and adrenaline, because that's what happens when we go into stress mode, right? When fear kicks in, we go into stress. And what happens then? It shuts down our prefrontal cortex, which is our ability, lends us the ability to make clear decisions, visionary decisions, innovative decisions, creative decision making. But when we're stressed and we're in fear, which is what happens when we try to make these decisions from our brain, that actual part of our brain shuts down. So now we are making fear-based decisions. And so many leaders in our world are making fear-based decisions because they haven't been taught this. So the solution, the answer, is to remember, so morning remembrances with me, to remember that we have more than 1 intelligence center. We have 3. The other 2 exist in our body. Aaron makes fun of me. My fiance makes fun of me all the time because he'll ask me a question and be like, I don't know this. Or somebody will call me up and be like, Melissa, I'm struggling with this decision. And I'll just go, all right, let's get into your body. And so he makes fun of me because he's always like, just get into your body. Just remember, get into your body. But it's so true. The answers are in your body. Because we have the 2 other intelligence centers are your heart center and your gut center, okay? Those are, and for everybody, the way that it speaks to you, we'll do a whole bunch of like over time, every morning I'll kind of give you more truths about this stuff. But for today, for decision making, if you can get out of your brain and into your body, which is what we do when we do our somatic practice, when we do our drop in after this portion of these episodes, that's where the answers come with clarity. That's where the answers come with like where you have the self-assurance that you know you're making the right answer or you're choosing the right answer. Oftentimes, so this is a caveat to remember, oftentimes once you know that and you make the decision from your body because you get a whole body yes, or you get a quiet whisper that is just calm and clear and says that is your path, right? It happens differently for different people. But the point is that it doesn't come from the brain. And so oftentimes, once you make the decision from the clarity that and the confidence that comes from your body, your brain will kick in and start doing the what ifs. Oh, but what if this happens? Or what if I made the wrong decision? Or but. And we have to remember, again, morning remembrances, we have to remember that this is very, very different from this. So the fear that happens in your brain is trying to keep you alive, and it can't discern between what is truly dangerous and what is simply uncomfortable because it's new territory. But what do we know about new territory? We know that new territory holds infinite potentiality, right? So once you get into your body and you hear the decision and you choose it, then remember that your brain is likely, especially if it's a big decision, your brain is likely going to kick in and start giving you doubt. Your thoughts are not always true. In fact, your thoughts are, what's in your body is always true. What's in your thoughts, what happens here that are fear-based is not true. It's just trying to keep you alive, keeping you in survival, but not in thriving, not in creation. How is this landing for you guys? So the truth for today is that when you are decision making, I don't care what type of decision, and we can practice with the small decisions. So I have a girlfriend who used to make me tap into my body for everything. Like, do I want to take this vitamin today? Tap in, yes, no. So it's just practicing this skill of listening to the guidance and the wisdom, so infinite wisdom that comes from your two other intelligence centers, your two other brains other than your logical brain. And then just to give you a little bit more, the vagus nerve connects all of these brains, these centers, and takes the information that you receive and travels upstream. 90% of the information that travels through the vagus nerve travels upstream to the brain, because the brain is meant to be the processor. You receive the answer and then you figure out what to do with it with the brain, but you listen here first. All right. Today's drop-in is going to be practicing this. So in today's drop-in, because the more we fine-tune this skill as a muscle, the more we can access our clarity in the moments that matter most, faster and faster and faster. And the more we do that, and the more we realize that we are on the right path, the more we trust what our body tells us. The more open we are, the more we tap in regularly, and the more we trust the results, which means the fear voice starts to get discredited by our own evidence, our own experiential evidence. So it really is a visionary leader's skill set. So I'll take all the jokes that Erin sends me about tapping into my body, because the answer is always there, guys. Okay, what I did want to tell you is that voice, for those of you who are like, but you were saying something, that voice, I'm keeping this log of the way that different people over time, throughout time, have called this voice, because we all have it. And some of the most visionary, innovative leaders of our generations, so not just today, have listened to this voice because they learnt through their own experiences how true it was, even before science could back it. So Napoleon Hill called it his other self, and he would tap into it regularly, especially when fear came in. Some people call it your higher self or your soul. Other people call it, so the other day a girlfriend sent me this thing that says every pull that you get for a decision is your future self reaching back to guide you forward. So what your intuition, it could be called your intuition. Oprah calls it God's whispers, right? But we all have it. We all have it, and it's about learning to tap into it, to listen, to hear it, and to trust it. And this happens with practice. It's like going to the gym. It's building a muscle. Okay, so we're going to get into our drop-in for today. And today, we're going to practice simply tapping into our bodies. So getting out of our analytical minds and into the other two intelligence centers. My hand is down here. Other two intelligence centers that exist in this beautiful body that comes with our humanity. And so this doesn't mean that you have to silence your mind, right? People have this misconception about meditation where you have to turn off your brain. You can't turn off your brain. Your brain will keep going, especially if you try to turn it off. So it's just about coming back to the breath and coming back to the body. I will guide you. As you know, for those of you who are new with me, or I guess as you don't know if you're new with me, is that we can't just learn things cerebrally, intellectually. We have to entrain our bodies, teach our bodies to hone these skills so that we can truly embody, Britt, that one's for you, embody the skill sets that we need to really step into the fullest expression and the fullest power of our leadership, of our visionary leadership. So we do a somatic practice. This is just breath work. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to invite you to shut down your eyes and to get still. So if you are driving, come back to this later. If you're crossing a street, please be mindful and don't get hit by cars or walk into people who are passing you. And if you are sitting in an office building and you think that you're going to look silly and you feel uncomfortable or you feel self-conscious, completely natural. Also know that in my experience, once you start doing this practice, other people who are watching you that you might have been self-conscious about seeing you do this are going to come to you and be like, what's changing about you? I want some of that. and then you get to share this with them. So for whatever that's worth, don't let it stop you. Don't let it be the fear that stops you. Okay, so shutting off all distractions, gifting yourself this next 10 minutes for you before you go and start your day. It's just 10 minutes, guys. You got this. You can own this. You can choose this. All right. So just kind of spending a quick moment, just kind of, if you need to shake anything out, shake it out, but getting still. Whether you're standing, whether you're sitting, whether you're lying down. Invitation to just pause and feel whatever it is that you're standing, sitting, or lying down on. So for example, I'm sitting on this nice little seat here, and I'm going to bring my awareness down to where I feel this couch holding me. Both of my feet are up on this, so I can feel it all through my lower body. Bringing your awareness down to wherever you're seated or standing or laying down. An invitation to notice how steady it is, how it's got you. You are free in this moment, and you are safe to trust that you can just sink into it. All of the decisions that you have to make, all of the people and things that you have to lead and do, don't matter right now. You can unload them straight onto this couch or this chair or this floor or this cushion, wherever you are. Sinking in and taking the next few moments for yourself. All right, we're going to do the halo active breath today, which is simply in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Taking your breath on your own, remembering that you are your highest authority and your body knows the way. So as you breathe, invitation to put your hand on your heart space. When you put your hand somewhere, it helps to guide your focus. So if we want to get out of our analytical mind so that we can make a heart-centered, aligned decision, we want to get out of our brain. So a little hack to do that is to stop, to do the halo active breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and bring your hand to your heart space and allow your awareness to follow your hand. So feel that hand on your chest. Put all of your attention there as you breathe. And as you breathe, with every inhale through the nose, picture your heart expanding open. So your rib cage is opening, your heart space is opening up. And with every exhale through your mouth, sink deeper and more deeply into your body, into the seat. So let's do this for a few moments. You can take it on your own. Expanding the heart space. Sinking more deeply into your body, into the seat that's got you. And if you have thoughts that come into mind, just bring them back. Just bring your awareness, your focus back to what you're doing. Your breath, your hand on your heart space, and breathing in and out through that center. Allowing it to feel good. Allowing it to calm you. And once you feel calm and focused here, invitation to think of a question What do I want to eat for dinner? And then, once you think of the question, don't think of the answer. Come back to your heart space. Come back to your breathing. And put all of your focus onto your breathing. In through the nose. Opening up that heart space. Out through the mouth. Sinking more deeply into the body. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And just keeping that breath flowing for the next few moments. And notice what you notice. Are there sensations? Is there stillness? Is there still noise happening and chatter happening in your brain? And if so, that's okay. Just keep practicing coming back to the breath, coming back to the breath. Allowing it to feel good, allowing the calm to wash over you. And as you take your last few centered breaths, make this declaration, invitation to make this declaration. The answer will come very clearly. And I will trust it when I hear it, when I know it, when I feel it. And as you take your last few breaths and you've made that declaration, as we will every time, let's take one moment of gratitude as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. We get to be grateful. You get to be grateful to yourself for gifting yourself, doing something different, taking this moment to ground yourself and to start your day off in alignment and in your power. That takes courage. That takes willpower. That takes commitment. That takes love of self. And you can be very grateful to yourself for that. And grateful to our bodies as human beings for being so infinitely wise. All we have to do is learn to tap in. And what you've done today is a really big first step or next step in learning how to do that. When you're ready, wiggling your fingers and your toes to come back into the fullness of your body, of your being. And coming back to the screen. If you feel called, I'd love to hear your experience in the chat. Did you hear an answer? Did you notice anything? Did you feel anything? Did you get frustrated that you weren't feeling anything or weren't noticing anything? All of that is welcome. None of that deserves judgment because all of that is part of the human experience. And here's what I know to be true. When I do this practice, I have friends and I have coaches that they get instant feedback. Personally, I'm not always there yet. Sometimes, quite often, I will do this practice and I will ask myself a question and I will tap in and I will just breathe. And then when I'm like, crap, I didn't get an answer, I will say to myself, the answer will come. And when it does, it will come clearly. I will not miss it. And I will listen to it. And I will know it for truth. And then like 3 hours later, I'll be on a call or I'll be somewhere, I'll be walking down the street, I'll be in the grocery store, wherever I am, and boom, it just like drops in and floods in. That is how these lives started. I asked God, the universe, how am I supposed to share? How am I supposed to serve next? Tell me how to freaking do this. And about 3 hours later, this is the example that comes to mind, I was coaching my certification group, and you are supposed to do daily lives dropped in. And then it took me time to move through the fear, as I shared yesterday, to actually be here with you guys every morning. And that's okay. That's part of the human experience. And I get to be proud of myself for showing up. And I get to be proud of you, and you get to be proud of you for showing up and doing the work and taking one step into the unknown with me, guys. Okay, if you have questions, I'm here for them. If you want to go and start your day, I wish you a beautiful day. I will be back tomorrow morning because morning lives with Melissa Agnes are every single morning on LinkedIn and IG, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And if you are not receiving text message reminders and email reminders every morning at about 8:50 that say, hey, I'm about to go live, and you would like them, just DM me or send me a note with the word remembrance and your phone number, and we'll get you set up. Thank you for choosing you. Thank you for being here with me. This is a big way of how I just feel purposeful, and I get to start my day off in alignment, and I get to do that because you guys showed up and I got to give this to you. So I am infinitely grateful. Have a beautiful day. Britt asks, can you repeat what the 2 other intelligence centers besides the brain are? Yes. Your brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain. So down here, your gut brain. In another morning, I will talk to you about actually how these are wired, the neurons, and like physiologically, how they actually are brain centers, intelligence centers in our bodies. This isn't just woo-woo me making this stuff up. This is scientifically and biologically proven. But for now, it's those 3. So you can practice putting your hand here and breathing into it the way that we did this morning. And then if you want to go even deeper, when you have more than 10 minutes, you can practice then bringing your hand to your belly and doing the same practice. Breathing, feel your hand on your belly, so your awareness goes there, your consciousness goes there, your other self opens up to there, as Napoleon Hill called it. And then you just picture your breaths are opening up that center, your solar plexus. Opening up. So you're breathing in and out. You're opening up with every inhale. You're opening up your solar plexus. Every exhale, you're sinking more deeply and deeply into your body, into your solar plexus, where safety actually exists, which is something I'll talk about in another morning. So I hope that helps. Gotcha. Gut brain, like the belly barometer. Yeah, that's why people call it a gut check. It's a real thing. People call it intuition. People call it your other self, like all these different ways of referring to it. God, the universe, infinite wisdom, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what we call it. We need to just remember, morning remembrance is remember that it is real, it is true, and it is ultimately your decision-making compass, your decision maker. And then your brain receives it through the vagus nerve, receives that information, that guidance, that decision that came through, whatever it is, that clarity. And then you get to use your brain and go, okay, how do I strategize this? How do I put this to work? How do I get this out to the world? Like so for me, as the example of, I asked God, the universe, like, how do I show up? What am I supposed to do, right? How do I get this out to the world? It was morning lives. Okay, then my brain gets to go, okay, I have the answer, morning lives. What does that look like? What's the fear that's creeping up? Because I will say this again for those of you who are still here. Once you get the answer, you can bank on your brain telling you that that's foolish. Bet on it, bank on it, be ready for it. It's going to do that. Your job is to trust the guidance that came in. And you get to forgive yourself. You get to give yourself grace if it takes you days, weeks, months, maybe even sometimes years to actually implement it. You are human. You are learning this. It took me more months than I care to be true, but it's true. And that's okay. I'm here now, right? So bank on this noise. And also when you remember, when you're like, okay, I hear you, but I don't believe you. The voice in your head, the fear and doubt, the what ifs, the buts, etc. I hear you, but I don't believe you. You are not truth. What's truth is what came in. We then get to use our brain to figure out how we're going to put it. So what I was saying earlier is then I got to say, okay, how do I get to do that? I'm going to go and find platforms. I'm on OneStream. I'm going to go find platforms to help me broadcast, to help me go on different platforms like LinkedIn and IG to get the message out, right? That's what our brain is for. Our brain is for taking the information that comes in through our body and then logically strategizing and bringing it to life. If we rely solely on our brain for decision making, it gets convoluted, it gets congested with fear and doubt and stress, which is cortisol, and adrenaline, which shuts down our prefrontal cortex, which completely removes our ability to make the decisions with clarity the way that we need to and want to. All right, I'm going to check to see if you have any more questions. Please don't drive into traffic. Brian, great advice. Judith says, thank you for taking some of the stress I woke up with this morning and turning it into calmness. Yes. You're so welcome. And thank you to you because you're the one who showed up and did the work. All right, guys, I don't see any more questions. I will be back tomorrow morning, Wednesday, 9 a.m., right here with another truth and another grounded drop-in. Have a great day.